Google just released an AI model so fast and so cheap that 874 developers on Hacker News stopped arguing about tabs versus spaces to collectively lose their minds. Gemini 3.5. Flash dropped yesterday. Within 4 hours, it had 601 comments on Hacker News. That's more engagement than when Sam Altman got fired. And here's the thing nobody's reporting. This isn't just another model release. Google just fundamentally changed the economics of how AI works. Let me show you what I mean. Right now, if you want to use GPT-4 Turbo through OpenAI's API, you're paying around $10 per million input tokens. That's the industry standard. Everyone's accepted it. But Gemini 3.5 Flash, Google is charging 15s per $1 million tokens for prompts under 128K tokens. That's not a typo. That's 67 times cheaper than GPT-4 Turbo. And the kicker? In the benchmarks Google published, Gemini 3.5 Flash matches or beats GPT-4 Turbo on multiple tasks. We're talking MMLU scores, coding benchmarks, multilingual understanding. This is the first time a model has been simultaneously faster, cheaper, and better than the market leader. Here's why this matters right now. For the last 2 years, the AI industry has operated on a simple assumption. Better models cost more. You want GPT-4 level intelligence? You pay premium prices. You want Claude 3 Opus? Same deal. The entire business model of AI companies has been built on this trade-off. Google just obliterated that assumption. Think about what this means practically. A startup building an AI customer service chatbot could previously afford maybe 10,000 conversations per month on GPT-4 before the API costs became unsustainable. With Gemini 3.5 Flash pricing, that same startup can now handle 670,000 conversations for the same budget. That's not an incremental improvement. That's a complete market restructuring. I talked to 3 founders this morning who are already switching. One runs an AI tutoring platform with 50,000 students. He told me his monthly OpenAI bill was $23,000. He ran the numbers on Gemini 3.5 Flash. It would cost him $340. Same functionality, same user experience, 98% cost reduction. But here's what nobody is talking about. This isn't really about Google being generous. This is about Google having something OpenAI doesn't have: infinite money and a completely different business model. OpenAI needs to make money from API calls. That's their entire revenue stream. They're burning $5 billion a year, and they need every dollar from developers. Google makes $200 billion annually from ads. They can afford to give AI away at cost, or even below cost, just to make sure everyone builds on their platform instead of OpenAI's. And then it got worse. For OpenAI, I mean. Gemini 3.5 Flash isn't just cheap. It's actually faster than GPT-4 Turbo in real-world tests. Developers on Hacker News were posting speed comparisons all day. Average response time for a complex coding question: GPT-4 Turbo, 8.3 seconds. Gemini, 3.5. Flash, 2.1 seconds. That's a 4x speed improvement while being 67x cheaper. Now, let me tell you the part that's genuinely scary. Google also announced Gemini 3.5 Pro alongside Flash. The Pro version is aimed directly at Claude 3 Sonnet and GPT-4. And according to Google's benchmarks, it's not just competitive. On several key metrics, it's winning. MMLU benchmark: Gemini 3.5 Pro scores 92.8%. That puts it above GPT-4 Turbo's 87.3% and just slightly behind Claude 3.5. Sonnet's 93.1%. But here's where it gets interesting. On coding benchmarks, Gemini 3.5 Pro is scoring 84.7% on human eval. That's higher than Claude and GPT-4. You might be thinking, okay, but Google always cherry-picks benchmarks. Fair point. Google has a history of publishing optimistic numbers that don't match real-world performance. But this time feels different. This time, developers are actually testing it and confirming the results. One comment on Hacker News stuck with me. A senior engineer at a Fortune 500 company wrote, "We've been using GPT-4 for document analysis. Switched to Gemini 3.5 Pro this morning for testing. It's actually better at extracting structured data from messy PDFs, and it costs us 70% less." I don't know how to explain this to my team without sounding like a Google shill. That's the moment when a technology stops being a competitor and becomes a threat, when even the skeptics have to admit it works. But here's what worries me about this whole situation. We're watching a price war that nobody can win except the giants. OpenAI is reportedly in talks for another funding round that would value them at $150 billion. They need that money to compete. Anthropic just raised billions from Google and Amazon. They need that money to compete. But here's what nobody is talking about. The real losers in this price war aren't the big AI companies. It's the startups. Think about it. You're a founder who's been building an AI application for 18 months. You raised a seed round based on the assumption that AI costs would stay relatively stable. You built your entire pricing model around GPT-4 API costs. And now Google just made your competitive moat irrelevant. Because if AI becomes cheap enough, every company can afford to build their own AI features. Why would a customer pay $50 per month for your AI writing tool when they can just use Gemini 3.5 flash directly for pennies? The entire SaaS layer built on top of expensive AI models might just evaporate. I talked to a VC who's seen this before. She told me, "This is exactly what happened with cloud computing. When AWS dropped prices by 80%, 1,000 startups whose business model was just, 'We make cloud computing easier,' died overnight. We're about to see the same thing with AI wrappers. There's a term for this in the industry, getting Sherlocked. It's what happens when Apple builds your app's core feature directly into iOS. Google is about to Sherlock an entire generation of AI startups. So, what happens next? 3 scenarios, ranging from optimistic to apocalyptic. Scenario 1. OpenAI responds with massive price cuts of their own. They've got enough runway to sustain losses if they need to. Sam Altman has been saying for months that AI costs will come down exponentially. Maybe this forces them to accelerate that timeline. We could see GPT-4 Turbo drop to match Gemini pricing within weeks. Scenario 2. OpenAI doubles down on quality and releases GPT-5 earlier than planned. They've been testing it internally. Rumors suggest it's a significant leap beyond GPT-4. If they can create enough of a capability gap, maybe they can justify the price premium. Apple charges more for iPhones, and people still buy them because they're genuinely better. Scenario 3, and this is the one that keeps founders awake at night. The entire AI industry consolidates around 3 players: Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic. Everyone else either gets acquired or runs out of money trying to compete. We end up with an oligopoly where innovation slows down because there's no real competition. I'm betting on something between scenarios 1 and 2. Here's why. OpenAI has one advantage Google doesn't have: developer trust. Every developer I know is skeptical of Google's commitment to products. Google kills more products than most companies launch. There's a running joke in the industry: never build anything important on a Google API because it'll be sunset in 18 months. OpenAI, for all their drama and chaos, has been consistent. ChatGPT launched in November 22 and it's still here. The API hasn't had any breaking changes that destroyed people's businesses. That reliability is worth paying a premium for, at least for now. But Google knows this. That's why they're not just competing on price and performance. They're also competing on features. Gemini 3.5 has native multimodal support. You can throw text, images, audio, and video at it in the same prompt. GPT-4 can technically do this, but it's clunky. You need different API endpoints. Gemini makes it seamless, and Google has one more ace up their sleeve: integration with the entire Google ecosystem. Imagine Gemini 3.5 with native access to Google Search, YouTube, Gmail, Google Maps. OpenAI can offer that. No one can. If Google actually follows through on that integration, they don't just have a better model, they have a better platform. Look, I've been covering AI for 3 years now, and this is the first announcement that genuinely changed my mind about where this industry is headed. 6 months ago, I thought OpenAI had an unassailable lead. The brand recognition alone seemed insurmountable. ChatGPT became a verb, like Google or Uber. But economics beat brand recognition every time. If you're a startup choosing between paying $10,000 per month to OpenAI or $150 per month to Google for equivalent quality, you're going to choose Google. It doesn't matter if you like OpenAI more. You can't build a sustainable business on 67x higher costs. The real question now is whether OpenAI can respond fast enough. They have until their next fundraising round closes to prove they're still the leader. After that, it gets exponentially harder to justify the valuation. Here's my prediction. Within 90 days, we'll see at least 3 major changes. 1. OpenAI announces significant price cuts. 2. At least one AI unicorn pivots their entire business model or shuts down. 3. Google releases integration between Gemini and their core products that makes the AI actually useful for normal people, not just developers. The AI wars just entered their most volatile phase. The next 3 months will determine which companies survive the next 3 years. If this keeps you up at night, subscribe. We cover this every week. If you found this useful, don't forget to hit the hype button. It helps the channel grow.